Hi, I'm Cheryl, and this is POTUS. I am not the President of the United States. My name is Cheryl Howard, and this is Ponderings of the Unwavering Spirit in Me. It's a vlog that I've wanted to start it for a long time, but fear has kept me from doing so. But I've decided, you know what, it's time. So here we go. I'm going to start off with a series of videos, 12 of them, and they are going to be promises from the Optimist Creed. The Optimist Creed was written by Christian Larson. He was born in 1874 and he passed away in 1954. And other than that, I know nothing about the man. But this creed was given to me by a friend of mine, and it really resonated with me, so I wanted to share it with you. So the first promise, today's video, is it says, I promise myself to be so strong that nothing can disturb my peace of mind. So I ask myself, what disturbs my peace of mind? Well, again, earlier I said, I wanted to do this for a long time, but fear kept me from that. It was fear of what other people think. That can disturb your peace of mind, or it can disturb my peace of mind. Another thing that can disturb my peace of mind is setting my expectations of myself so high and not being able to reach them. That can disturb my peace of mind. But in the past, what has really disturbed my peace of mind has to do with the very promising myself to be so strong. The thought of being strong, of needing to be strong, can disturb my peace of mind. But it was based on a weird definition of strong, or what my thoughts of being strong were. I used to think that being strong meant that I had to be everything to everybody. I used to think that it meant that I had to fix everything for everybody and do everything for everybody, and that kind of causes you to burn out, and you end up doing things with resentment in your heart. And I have done that, and I'm not proud of that. I can remember a conversation with a friend of mine, and I don't really remember the whole conversation, but it was a bad time in my life, and she said, Cheryl, you're going to get through this. You're strong. And I was crying, and the tears were rolling down my face, and the snot was running out of my nose, and I breathe like that, trying to respond to her. And what I really did was I barked at her, because with every bit of force I could muster, I said, I don't want to be strong. I'm tired of being strong. You ever felt that way? Whenever you're there, that's whenever you have resentment in your heart. There's a scripture, Proverbs 4:23, and it says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. I'll be referring to scripture on and off. The Bible's an important book to me, and I'll refer to God as I understand him. And you can understand him your way. You can call him God, you can call him the universe, or universal intelligence, or you can call him Jehovah, Allah. I don't care what you call him. There's one God, and he created all of us, and I don't think he cares what we call him, because he's way too big to be contained in a name. So for me, it's God. Anyway, the scripture, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. I like to figure things out about myself, and if you like to figure things out about yourself, you probably are going to really get this, what I'm fixing to say. I can look back in my life and see where there were times whenever I would allow things to dwell in my heart, and they would end up in my life. Sometimes those were things that I feared. Whenever I had fear and resentment or anger in my heart, and I just let it sit there and live there, more issues that would cause me more fear or more anger or more resentment would show up in my life. But the same was true on the other end of the stick. If I was happy and joyful and grateful and things like that, more things would show up in my life for me to be joyful and grateful about. And so there's this company called HeartMath, and HeartMath has spent the last couple decades studying the relationship between the heart and the brain. And this is how it kind of goes. The heart actually signals the brain. The heart communicates with the brain more than the brain communicates with the heart. And in our brain, there's this pharmacy. And our heart, based on what emotions we're feeling, will signal our brain to release certain chemicals into our body. So if we're feeling feelings of joy and compassion and gratitude and care, those kinds of things, our heart is signaling our brain to release a plethora of chemicals and hormones into our body that are life-giving and immune-building. They help us think clearer. They help us make better decisions because we're thinking clearer. You know, we have more resilience in our day-to-day life whenever we're experiencing these emotions of joy and compassion and care and gratitude, things like that. Now, let me tell you something. No emotion is good or bad. They're energy indicators. They're basically telling our heart what our body needs or what our body yearns for. And our heart has a magnetic field that expands outside of us. So whenever we're having these feelings of gratitude and care and compassion, and we're generating these hormones and these chemicals that are being released into our body, this magnetic field around us, our presence, is an inviting presence, and people interact with us differently than on the flip side. Because on the flip side, whenever we're experiencing emotions of anger or fear or doubt or worry, our heart is communicating to our brain that we might be in trouble, and it needs to release a whole different set of chemicals and hormones. And one of those is called cortisol. And cortisol is known as the stress hormone. And while it's vital and necessary in times of imminent danger, it was never meant to be pumped into our body on a regular, ongoing basis. And it causes things like illness, disease, weight gain. It causes a whole bunch of physical issues that we don't want to deal with in our lives. I don't want to deal with those kinds of issues in my life. And then this field that's being radiated from our heart has a whole different kind of presence, and then people react with us in a whole nother way. Sometimes they just don't want to be around us. So the science kind of backs up the scripture whenever it says, for out of the heart are the issues of life. So the scripture says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And the science basically says the same thing. It's really cool. So anyway, I'm a word geek, and I like to take words and make acronyms to make it easier to think about what I want the word to mean in my life. So the word strong, remember I told you used to it meant that I had to be everything to everybody. Now the word strong to me means that I need to love me first. Because I know when I love me first, I am so much more capable of loving others and helping others. Because we were created to love. We were created to love each other. And the way that we express love is by lending a helping hand. We want to do that. That's how we love each other. So the word strong, I want to remind myself to be emotionally strong. And sometimes the way that I can remind myself to be emotionally strong is to surrender to righteous, ongoing, nurturing grace. Strong, S-T-R-O-N-G. Surrender to righteous, ongoing, nurturing grace. Whenever we can do that in our lives, surrender to grace. You know, I'm not saying deny circumstances. I'm not saying that whenever something happens that needs our attention and that it's not necessarily a a good something, but that we need to take care of it. I'm not saying ignore it, because whenever we ignore things that need our attention, terrible things happen. We can cause ourselves more financial stress. We can cause ourselves more relationship stress. We can cause ourselves to take risky chances. Hey, I've done it. And I've got lots of stories to tell, and somewhere along the way I'll be telling you some of these stories. But when we address it and then leave it be, we've done what we can do, there's nothing else we can do, it's time to leave it be. And then surrender to grace. Surrender to righteous, ongoing, and nurturing grace, because grace is righteous, and it is ongoing, and it is oh so nurturing. And when we surrender to it, we can allow ourselves the emotional strength necessary that nothing could disturb our peace of mind. I know you can do that. I'm Cheryl Howard, and this is POTUS. I am not the President of the United States, but I am always pondering the unwavering spirit within me. I don't know when I'll be back, but if any of this was of interest to you, please hit the like button, subscribe, follow me, whatever it is that you're supposed to do out there, so that you can get a notification whenever I come back with another video. Thank you for joining me. I do sell cars for a living, so if you're in the market for a new or used car or truck, please give me a call. My number is 337-658-0421. You go out and have a great day.